3:30. And there's a link on the OHP site to register, or you can email them at parks.ca.gov is the website. So
There's still space available.
how many do we have? Limited?
It's limited, but, you know, I think,
There are about 30 people signed up so far.
Okay, I need to sign up then.
There's room.
Okay. And then one of the other things that Heritage Studies have been working on, I don't know if you all have gotten a flyer, but we have this beautiful flyer going around. We've been mailing it out to our membership and to others. The historic Henry Booner fence that used to be along E Street, between 7th and 8th Street, there used to be a mansion where, what is it, the Sherwin-Williams paint store is now. There was a big, grand 13,000 square foot mansion there from 1884 until 1954, 1955. And it had a beautiful cast iron fence, very ornate, somewhat similar to the one in front of the Carson Mansion. It was removed, and it was not discarded when the house was torn down. It was moved to a house behind Sequoia Park over on R Street, and I think it was 3000 block of R Street. And it sat there kind of languishing and rusting and falling apart for another 40 years. Until 1998, I think it was, Bob, that the fence came down. I think it was 98. That Glenn and Gail Giammo, that owned a big house out in the Corners in Ferndale, bought it to use in front of their mansion, and they never used it. And then Phil Burns bought it, who's opening the Mighty Master Fat Cat Bakery on 7th and E, and he never got to use it. So now the Heritage Society is going to give it a try to put it around in front of our property, the Annie B. Ryan House and Garden at 1000 F, 1000 E. What is our official address on E Street, Bill? 949, I think. Yeah, 949. So it originally spanned 120 feet, or 240 feet of E Street, the whole block between 7th and 8th on E Street. So we don't have quite that much length on the Annie B. Ryan property. So we have all this beautiful cast iron fence that is a little bit dilapidated. So we have enough from that 240 feet to recreate the original curved driveway with 2 carriage entrances and 2 pedestrian entrances. So what we do need, we have purchased the fence, but now we need to restore it. So we're asking everyone's help, and we have a little campaign going here. You can buy 1 foot for $62.50, 10 feet for $625, or 50 feet for $3,125, or any amount you want to give to help us get this up and running, because we're going to have to take it apart, sandblast it, do some casting of broken and missing parts, and then reassemble the whole thing, and then build a concrete retaining wall to mount it on. So we're talking about another $20,000, $30,000 at least to get it up and running. So this is just the beginning of our campaign, but we hope we all make it to see this fence installed and a piece of Eureka history is brought back so we can all enjoy it. So where are we with our little program there, Steve? Well, there you go. Okay. Do you have any more filler or anything?
I do. We read the proclamation.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that they were always invited to come to the Annie B at 1000 F Street. The garden is open to the public. You're welcome to come in and enjoy. The roses are blooming now, and just come in and see what we're working on there. We have a vegetable garden, we have a flower garden, we have native plant gardens. So please come and visit. It's always open with dusk to dawn, and so please come and visit. Thank you.
Okay, and until we can get the computer up and running, I was going to read the proclamation that our esteemed, thank you, Bill, our esteemed mayor actually gave the society. It was given on May the 1st, and one of the proclamations is, whereas the Eureka Heritage Society, established in 1973 and celebrating its 45th anniversary this year, recognizes May as Historic Preservation Month and sponsors the Preservation Awards to recognize historic preservation efforts and promote the historic assets of Eureka. And that's why we're here today, to celebrate that. And we've got 5 different awards that we're going to be handing out today. We've got a residential award, which is going to 2310 N Street, and that's known as the Storybook House. It's owned by Abby Levy Coleman. We've got the Adaptive Reuse Award, which is going to Charlotte DeWar, and she's purchased the beautiful Pink Lady at 202 M Street. We've got 2 commercial awards. One is going to Charles and Erica Carlson for the North 4th Bar, and that's located at 207 3rd Street. We also have another commercial award going to the St. Vincent de Paul Building, and that's located at 212 G Street. And last but not least, we've got the Preservation Award going to the Historic Preservation Commission of the City of Eureka. So as soon as we're able, we're going to bring up the screen here so that we can show you the actual slides. I guess we should have stuck with how they used to do it in the old times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, want to do that? Steve, how far along is the
We're 90.
90? Yeah, it's taken about 20 minutes to get 10% from 80. So I guess my recommendation is we just go ahead and proceed. So with that, I would like to present Kathy Dillon, who's going to be talking about the Pink Lady, and she's all dressed in pink.
Well, luckily everybody knows what the Pink Lady looks like. So imagine the beautiful photographs. So the Adaptive Reuse Award will be going to Charlotte DeWar, and she's the owner of the Pink Lady. And in 2007, Charlotte and her late husband Howard bought the building, which in my opinion is the second most recognizable Victorian in Eureka. Picture that elegant dome tower and all the just dripping and decorative woodwork and stained glass. It really is an important structure in the history and the cultural life of the city. Bit of background: the house was built in 1889 by William Carson for his son Milton and his new daughter-in-law, and it was designed by the famed architects who designed Williams' mansion across the street. Now after the elder Carson's death in 2012, the second generation moved into the mansion, and Milton leased out the little house for many years. Okay, now let's see. Over the years, it's had a lot of different uses. It's been offices, it's been a restaurant, an art gallery, a retail space, even a girls' school apparently. And one interesting note, in 1943 it was owned by 2 sisters who lived in Germany. And they were having it used and run as a boarding house. But that's when the U.S. government seized it as Nazi property, and then resold it. So it kept on being resold, and many different uses, and over these decades it was really deteriorating. Not a lot of work was being done on it. Luckily, 1964, Robert Matson buys it and does the first restoration. So, let's see, where am I? Robert Matson had a friend named Robert Rush Usher, who was I learned this during my Historian Preserve days at the Times Standard. He was a 1930s and 40s Oscar-nominated Hollywood set designer. And he was the one who suggested that the house be painted pink and white, which is what happened, and it was in later years a local realtor dubbed it the Pink Lady. I think those colors, say what you will about pink and white, the colors set it apart. And I like what how one writer put it in a North Coast Journal publication. She described the Pink Lady as the dark green, iron-gated Carson Mansion's flirtatious kid sister. Perfect. So 2007, Howard and Charlotte buy the house. They started when they were taking a vacation holiday over Valentine's Day in Ferndale, and they wanted to take a day trip to Eureka. walk around Old Town. Howard really wanted to see the Carson Mansion, so they make their way up and are really impressed. And then they turn around and were equally impressed with the Pink Lady and intrigued by the fact that there was a for sale sign in front. They kept on walking, had lunch at the Carter House, could see the Pink Lady from the windows, kept talking about it, kept on walking, happened to go by the realtor who was listing the property, and they asked if they could see it. There wasn't enough time for them to make an appointment before they had to leave town, so he gave them a DVD with the interior photos. We go home to Nevada City, and they keep talking about it, and wouldn't it be a great vacation home? So eventually, sight unseen, inside anyway, they made a bid, and it was accepted. Okay, so let's see, where am I? Like I said, it needed a lot of work, and they knew that. They knew it would need work. There was grease on the walls in the restaurant days. There was earthquake damage. Window repair wasn't needed, and the redwood paneling had gone pretty dull. There was just a lot of things that needed work. Today, if you could see the inside, I wish you could. What are we up to? 98%. It might happen, but it is extraordinary inside, and unfortunately, Howard did not live to see that. In 2010, he was diagnosed with cancer, and in 2013, he died. Charlotte told me that a lot was happening there. The couple had other preservation projects going on and other historic properties, and she just was feeling overwhelmed and decided she needed to sell the property. A year goes by, no takers. So Plan B, she contacted Redwood Coast Vacation Rentals, and it was a good match. And it was that agency's Hope Raymond, who scoured local antique shops and auction houses and the like, for period furnishings for the house, and also new carpeting and window repair, included rebuilding a few of the windows with old growth redwood and repairing stained glass windows. And one vital project was fencing added. Now this was more than aesthetic, it was a necessity, because homeless people were camping in that big side yard, and one night a campfire got out of control and really came dangerously close to burning down the house. Don't even like to think about that. So the board decided to build the house. They chose to do it in a way that really complemented the style. On your way home, everybody drive by the Pink Lady and look at that fence a little bit. It's beautiful the way it matches, the house. And it was done by a San Francisco designer, so nothing was spared in that. Okay. Charlotte recently told me that all the work really transformed the Pink Lady, and that she felt it was a privilege to have the work done and to get it all accomplished. And quote, "Now there are always people going in and out. The house is being lived in and loved and cared for. All of our tenants are amazing, and they all fall in love with the Pink Lady." Charlotte, unfortunately, cannot be with us today, but I believe Hope Raymond is here. Hope? Hi, Hope. Hope is here from Redwood Coast Vacation Rentals, and she is here to accept the award on Charlotte's behalf. Can we have you come up? Go, my dear. We can close it together. Thank
our guests have really loved being there. And, you know, you just don't get that opportunity to be in a home like that and to live in it. And they universally have loved it. And thank you for the award. And it's an honor to be recognized. And thank you so much.
But it'll be probably 5 minutes.
Fine.
We're not updating it.
We're not updated? Okay, so we have hope we're going to have photographs pretty soon. But we'll move on to the next award, and we'll go back to the pictures as they are available. So the next building we're going to be giving a preservation award to is what is going to be called the North of 4th at 207 3rd Street, owned by Chuck and Eric Carlson. Built about 1904. Haven't found exactly the build date, but from the title search that Bob Livershall did, that's, and I'm sure you all who've been around here for a while remember it as the Schooner Saloon. I hear a annoying laugh out there. It's kind of a little bit of a sleazy saloon the last few years, but it's being given new life here. So the original owner of this building, James Nellis, N-E-L-L-I-S, was a retired, at that time, 1904, was a retired Humboldt County pioneer rancher, living in Eureka at this time. And he acquired this 90 by 110 foot parcel at the northeast corner of C and 3rd Street in Eureka. He acquired the parcel in May of 1903. At that time, there was only one building on the property, and that was at 213 3rd Street. The 60-foot portion nearest C hadn't previously been built upon, so here's a property that's, you know, well into 50 years after the city was founded and had never been built on, even though it's down in the heart of Old Town. The first listing of this building as having a tenant was in the 1905 city directory, with a Mrs. Annetta McEmery residing at 205 3rd Street upstairs above Peter Thompson's Saloon at 207 3rd. The Oak Saloon is listed at 201 3rd in 1904-1905. Sometime between July 1945 and 1946, the building, these are twin buildings. You know where the Schooner North of 4th building is now, and there's an empty lot next door? There was a twin building to it on that site. Looked exactly like it, same detailing, same shingles, same cornice, everything. Sometime between July of 1945 and December of 1946, that building disappeared. We haven't been able to find out why. We're speculating with fire, but the Schuster aerial photos taken in the late 40s show that building missing. And it was there up until the end of World War II. So both buildings have a rich use as saloons with various names attached, and the last being Schooner. So the existing building that's still there is a 2-story wood building about 29 feet by 51 feet. Very simple gabled front form with a tall false front. This is the remaining of the 2 buildings built at northeast corners of 3rd and C. Each building combines street-level commercial space, mostly saloons, with residential flats above. We have no recollection or knowledge of the original builder. We usually have information on the builder, contractor, designer, architect, but we have found nothing on this building. It has some notable features still. It was built with some embellishment and ornamentation, including the patterned wood shingles covering the 2nd story. Sometime around 1955, the front facade was refinished finish or modernized with stucco and asbestos shingles. But when Chuck and Erica bought the building, they removed the stucco and uncovered the original pilasters and one of the lower bracketed cornices above the entry. They didn't bother to shear anything off from the remodel like so many buildings in that old town. They just covered it with stucco and brought it out from the building. So all the original detailing on the first floor around the doors and windows, not the doors and windows themselves, but the detailing still existed. There was a rear extension, which was a small 7-foot by 20-foot, but that was replaced in the 80s with a much larger single-story addition and extension covering about 40 by 60. So they've been working on this building for about 7 years and uncovered many original elements for the exterior and interior, and I think we're just about ready to see those, as Steve tells me we are. Some appropriate new work was necessary to rehabilitate the saloon, and you see the front windows and doors that are custom made by CJ's Wood and Sash. They're just beautiful. They did a great job. They didn't have any historic photos at the time they did the windows and doors, so they're not quite like the originals, but they're certainly period appropriate and high quality. So at this time, I'd like to have Erica and Chuck come up if they're here and get the award for number 4.
Hi there, everybody. Actually, the saloon is running right now. It's on an empty lot. It's a lovely garden with a patio, all ADA accessible. I mean, I could go on and on about everything. The front of the building was a pretty good guess because we designed the windows and basically working off what we had. When we tore off the stucco, I'd been working on the building probably 5.5, 6 years when we finally took the stucco off the front, and I found the remnants of the core bolts and everything. So we used those elements to kind of work our way down and try to get a fairly historic representative of what was going on there. CJ Sash, Millworks, they did a wonderful job. We guessed it pretty good because I finally saw some photographs of it, and while the front windows are different, it's fairly close to what it was. I mean, I could go on and on about all the different issues that we ran into, but the city of Eureka was very cooperative, and the interior, basically what we were going for was to reflect our history here in Humboldt County. And as a redwood interior and everything goes, it looks, you know, people have come into the bar now that we're open for business, and they're like, you know, I feel successful in the fact that people don't really understand that underneath the redwood and some of the period details on the interior, it's been completely rebuilt from the studs in. The old bar that we have came from Doris's. It was to rehab that thing was a obsessive compulsive thing. It had been, after it came from Doris's, somebody had painted it white, and then I believe Whitey Barr and his crew took some grinders and ground as much of the white paint off as possible. And it seemed as if they dipped the whole thing in. Anybody know what Envirotex is? It actually had drips of this stuff. I mean, it was incredibly hideous. But we managed to pull it all off and try to redo some of the profiles. My wife and my fellow worker, Randall Lundberg, helped a lot on that. I especially want to thank Randall. He's an extraordinary craftsman, and I really want to thank him for his attention to detail and taking the time and having the patience just about the best job you can do here in Humboldt County, and I would appreciate if any of you guys had any high-end jobs for him to get his number, because he's really one of the best, besides being a great musician. And I mean, how much detail goes into a building like that is, you know, the Victorian stuff and everything. It's like you cannot replicate that. And one of the things that we always tried to do was use as much of the original stuff as possible. If you walk in, we have kind of like the history of the building is reflected in the floor. There's 3 different colors from 3 different eras. I'll spare you the upscaling and what is it? Upscale.
Read something, I don't know.
Yeah, they use all those funny things. Yeah, and you know, about 6 or 8 months ago, you know, we'd have people come in and they would look around and they'd go, "Finally, I'm starting to see Erica's vision." And she's been a great inspiration for the whole work. And I just wanted to express how much appreciation I have for the community of people who actually care about things, who care about the human tradition and handing on, you know, what happened in the old days, you know, to the people in the next generations. And I really think that Eureka is taking its position as a cultural and obviously it's an economic capital, but also the cultural capital of the Humboldt Bay region. You know, we had Caltrans and the pulp mills, and Caltrans destroyed that swath of area where they were putting in the freeway, and the pulp mills, they just smelled so bad. So Eureka had a really tough time there for a while, but our air is wonderful, and I think most of those old Caltrans properties are in the hands of people who care for them now, and it's just really been a wonderful transformation. I like Eureka, and I think everybody ought to. So, once again, thanks everybody.
And I'd just like to thank Chad for sticking with it, because you work on a building like that so many years, people think you're just nuts, and there's this crazy old guy in his like filthiness every day, looking like the bums that lives there, and wondering what is that guy doing, and to finally have a nice place that people can walk in is
Well,
awesome. So
Once
thank
we
you
broke
for
through
that.
to the front, now the stuff on the outside, I stayed away from it as long as I possibly could. But when I finally pulled it off,
Yes! He said, oh my God, there's a Victorian under there.
Yeah.
Victorian.
yeah, so, thanks everybody.
Alright, so we're gonna pull up the slideshow now.
Do we want to go back to the meat lady?
Let's keep with this and then we'll do that.
Yeah,
Okay, ready?
okay, go for it.
So, this is from the Sanborn insurance maps, and it shows that you can see a wood pile on the right side, the corner of 3rd and C. That was all that was there. This is prior to 1904. There were no buildings at all. And then there was a very small building that was labeled a female boarding house, and we all know what that was probably used for. And then in the 1905 Sanborn match, which is the next update, you see both buildings there at 213 and 205. So the building that the North Fourth is in is the yellow one below the green, right there, there you go. And one below it on the corner is one that's now missing since 1945. And here they are again in the 1920 Sanborn maps, the three buildings that are still there. Shanty is being the third one, at 213. Okay, so here's a panoramic photo of Eureka. Is this a Miser? Yes, this is a Jesse Miser photo. And can you point at the Grand Hotel, Steve? There we go. That grand building was on the corner of 2nd and C, right behind the North Fourth, right across the alley until 1948. But you can see right behind it are the two buildings we're talking about. One on the corner which is gone in the North Fourth. There's another photo showing those buildings, the backs of them. 1906-ish. And another aerial photo, or from a tower probably, and you can see the backs of the buildings down low. And then there's a colorized postcard from 1910 by Freeman Art Studio. And now here is a good photo taken in the 30s by Lloyd Stein that shows the buildings in the original livery with all the patterned shingles, the original storefronts, and how very much twins they were. But the other one has a side entrance, whereas the North Fourth has a center entrance. And an aerial photo from the Schuster photos, which shows the already in 1946, the building on the corner is gone, so you can see just the current building is there. Another picture of the Grand Hotel showing the back of the North Fourth building with the lot next door, which has now been developed as a lovely outdoor garden. And here's the back of the Grand Hotel, which was later called the Hotel Sterling, showing the side. You can see the door to nowhere from the second floor. They originally went into the other building. And this is the hotel being demolished. The windows have been taken out. It shows clearly the side of the building that we're honoring today. And then later on, this is like the mid-70s, this is what the schooner looked like for years with the ship painting on the side. And that's what most of us have been around here for a long time, remember? And there's that lovely stucco front down there with the blue paint. You can see how, go back one more, Steve. The cornice is kind of slanted out. They didn't take it off, they just stuck it over it, which is great. And that's how it looked for years. Not the most attractive building in Eureka. Some of the artifacts found in the building, yes. Good times, good times. Old Town has what you want, drugs or girls. And there's the 1983 edition on the back. Another picture of that with dancing. And back in the alley, there's the art gallery. And here's the man at work. Yes.
I was so stoked when he bought the building.
And here's how it was when he bought it. A little bit of inventory left. But just kind of a mess. A few projects waiting to be done.
When you go in there, look at the back bar today, and then think about this picture.
You see all the different paint colors. Hasn't been cleaned in a little while. So. There's the pole for the pole dancers. Talk to shop. And there it is today in all its finery. What a great job.
We'll just run through these real quick, because they're so pretty to see.
What is that fence?
Yeah, you know, look at that woodwork, it's beautiful, so, come on. The Newsom brothers, Samuel and Joseph, you know more than I do.
Samuel was only Jackson Solar, that's just Samuel's son.
Okay, so, like I said, Santa Claus recognizable Victorian Amiga, let's go. Here it was originally. And it didn't start out pink, apparently. Chuck just told me it was a dark red,
Very, very dark red.
very dark red.
The line is red.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a menu that was an advertisement for one of the restaurants in the 60s sometime. The view of the Carter House Inn from one of the pink lady windows. Would have gone well with the speech. So, you see the door, no, everybody knows that. Let's go inside and see what's happened there. You know, there's no redoing this again. This is the front, seeing the part of the lobby from the top of the stairs. And it's amazing. Keep going. And that beautiful, all that stained glass is boggles the mind. Here's the back parlor, a view from the hallway. The front parlor, what a view. Okay, here's the back parlor's fireplace mantle. And next is the dining room's fireplace mantle. Here's the dining room, a bit more of it. And back is this darling little sun porch that was likely added in the 1920s. The kitchen's been all redone. Here's a small slice of it. And next is the original pass-through that goes into the kitchen. Upstairs is the landing. And just look how that redwood just glimmers. And it's gorgeous. And all the touches are amazing. Now we'll look at some of the bedrooms, and you can see what a great job Hope did in this series. You know, just big families can have a great time here. Okay. And then, of course, the bathrooms were redone next. That was gone. But anyway, here's that beautiful fence, and just boggles the mind. You know, that they would go to all that expense to recreate something so ornate. Another good view. And yeah, that huge side yard now protected. And finally, just I think that's it. Yeah. Anyway.
Our next building is the old St. Vincent de Paul. Who is our presenter? Oh, Steve, you're doing your show. Okay. So you need somebody to run the slideshow, or you just gonna let it run? Well, I could do that. You want the microphone down there, Steve?
No, I got it.
All right. Oh, he's got his remote keyboard. He's in good shape. Once we get the technology figured out, it all works. There.
So yeah, the Paul building, we're awarding a commercial award for the work that's been done in the last few years on this building. This is a contemporary photo, and I realized this morning that we had all these great historical photos, and we hadn't really taken any of the inside of the building, and I have a few that I'll have to queue up after we finish this. But it's a two-story stucco wood building with a basement. It's 60 feet wide by 110 feet deep. And it was constructed on lot 4 and lot 21 of, at the corner of G Street and 3rd. Second, sorry, excuse me, second. I should know because I used to have an art studio across the street. And it was, I'm trying to get my notes here. Well, it was previously the site of the Masonic Hall, which occupied that corner from 1870 for roughly 50 years. It was destroyed by fire in 1924. So we have some pictures of that. So in the Masonic Hall days, you can see here on the left side of this photo, across from the Vance Hotel, is looking down 2nd Street. The Booner Building in the immediate foreground on the left. There's another view.
So is that first building, the Masonic Hall?
Correct, and Bob Livershaw in his research, looking at building permits and looking at sort of some of the historical resources down the city, was able to conclusively, and newspaper information, was able to conclusively determine that that building, there is not a touch of it left. It has been removed from the site and was replaced by the building we have now. It was often believed that there might be some kind of cobbling together of that in the St. Vincent de Paul, but that clearly wasn't the case. It was documented that it did burn and was replaced afterwards. But this is a photo of it from the 1915 Apple book, showing the front of the building. You can kind of see the rust meat market in the background of the photo, and some of the buildings that still remain on 2nd Street. Another photo of the front of the building, showing the commercial occupants, the Matthews. Many of these, as Bob likes to point out, folks occupied multiple buildings during their business history, and so you really have to kind of keep tabs on that. You can't always know based on the business whether it's the building that you're interested in. But those glass windows in that storefront shows that clear relationship. And then here's where Bob's actually identified that this is the construction of the St. Vincent de Paul building. So it was built originally intended to be used by Howard's Automobile Garage, and there was furniture storage. It has had quite a few tenants over the years. The St. Vincent de Paul Society acquired the property in 1967 and for 50 years has managed it and used it. I know many of you probably remember buying things at the thrift store. I was a poor college student. I bought a couch there. I remember being so excited. It was $20 for a couch, what a deal. And then getting it back to my dorm room and realizing, oh, it smells like cigarettes. Probably took 4 months before my dorm stuff smelled like cigarettes. So these are showing from the fire insurance maps kind of the evolution or the occupancy of the block. So in this case, you can see it on the corner here. Garage, 50 cars, 2x4 construction, and with auto repairing possibly in the back. It was definitely built with vehicles in mind. The entrance from the street has a basement that is accessed from the road itself. And I remember going downstairs to buy things at St. Vincent de Paul and seeing things stored down in the basement. An unusual feature in the Eureka structure. And then, oh yeah, here's a close-up, you can see a little bit better. So it's referencing steel columns and girders, though I believe that is incorrect, right? Bob, this was something that was advertised on the original building permit.
It's not steel columns and girders, but it's not steel and concrete construction.
Right. Yeah, the concrete, right, stuck in the wood, yeah. So there was a belief in a fireproof structure that didn't quite have that type of construction to that extent. And then here, moving on, you can see kind of what on the contemporary assessor parcel map, there's the size of the lot with Upper Alley in the back, G Street and 2nd Street. I mean, in the heart of Old Town, without a doubt, but a very kind of unique commercial occupancy in the sense that, well, in these next slides, you'll see here's M&S Storage and Garage from City Directory, 1920, showing the services that they offer. Here we have a view of the building in its secondary tenancy after the garage. So the Broussard company owned the building and occupied it for, it looks like the 40s and 50s. And here you can see looking down And then this next photo, that's a Lloyd Stein photo, courtesy of the Historical Society's collections. Here's an advertisement in the newspaper. You can see a very, kind of nothing flashy about this occupant. This is just a construction and hardware store in a commercial district that otherwise has a lot of more kind of whimsical or different kinds of services being offered. So here's a later photo. I think, what did you estimate for this one, Bob? Or Chuck? Where's our resident card?
Lewis Carter, 1956 Ford.
Okay, so yeah. But it's still very recognizable as the building you know. This, I'm proud to report, is from my personal collection. This is a slide that I scanned, and a unique or unusual to see an early color slide of these things. But looking down 2nd Street, you can see the Manso Town also. We tried to do this chronologically. Now you can see a little bit more recent vintage vehicle. This was the White House, is what it was described as this business. It looks like the Brizard decaling has been removed at this point. This is courtesy of the Humboldt County, the Humboldt Room at the HSU Library. Kind of shows the G Street corridor between 2nd and 3rd. And then here we have the occupancy that I first encountered when I moved to Humboldt County over 20 years ago. And so we have some interior shots showing that the framing of the building. And you'll notice that the exposed 2x4 crib construction with boards end on end forming firewall. That's something that's still evident in the new occupancies. And so, and I don't know the details, but I know that this structure, and maybe we'll get a little bit of backstory, but there was a massive project undertaken, or a project that wasn't, I think, started out with the comprehensiveness that it ultimately became. I guess a common story. And in the course of the roofing job, revealing structural deficiencies that required greater attention and investment. And we're just so grateful that the St. Vincent de Paul Society was willing to take that up, to rise to that occasion. Sometimes these sort of private struggles go unknown or unannounced, but yet are pivotal to what we keep and what still exists in the city's landscape. And seeing it now breathe new life with new occupants is very encouraging. So some of the more contemporary photos, and I think on my phone I might have a few more of the inside. Would you guys like to see it? How many of you have been able to go inside the building? There's several tenancies. Okay. Should I pull up a couple of them? I just ran down there today. Hang on just a second. This was in the window next to the gallery. The Black Fawn Gallery is one of the occupants. Interesting art installation. It's a pretty unique and modern gallery that helps complement kind of the existing. It was nice to see that come in. Some photos of that. This is looking down the hall of the Black Fawn Gallery. You can see some of the installations in there. And you can see, when I was taking these photos, there's people peering in the windows. And you can see some of the construction methods still quite evident. And looking back. So it's an interesting space, and they've had a lot of different exhibits over the last couple of years. And I found them all pretty worthwhile. So then, in the construction methods and the end-on-end crib construction. Here's a space that's vacant currently, that is available for a tenant. And then Harlan Law Firm is located on the second floor. This is looking down towards the 3rd Street side, or 2nd Street side. And then this is a kind of, have folks been to Synapsis? I can tell you that they're a group that has been in our community for a while, but really struggled to find a site that they could do the types of activities that they want to do. They ran into challenges with the building they were occupying in terms of fire codes and building codes, and we're looking at losing their space and really have benefited from the Broussard, from the St. Vincent de Paul work, because they finally are in a space where